Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video I am super excited because we're going to take a close look at an Nvidia GPU I really wanted to have for a very long time. This Nvidia GPU is absolutely a beautiful piece of engineering when it comes to making graphics cards. We have seen all kinds of stuff here on the channel, from single, dual cards, but unfortunately there was one card I never could get my hands on, and if I can find it, most of the time it's completely broken, and that is the general problem of these, say, particular GPUs. Okay, so I purchased one from eBay and I got this thing in the European zone, actually Germany. So let's see what I'm getting with this, because this thing is not on 100% working order, but this is maybe one of the best deals I can get at the moment. But maybe I can pick up a better one if it's going to be an absolutely overall fun experience. The 9800 GX2 is absolutely a beautiful card when it comes to technical engineering. This was actually two GPUs inside of a freaking case, so it was like an eternal SLI. But how is it with the overall quality? It's missing this rubbery thingy for the SLI. That's a little bit of a downside. So the idea is to see if this thing is actually, like say, working, or is like this thing completely unusable. I understand that the seller just made it, he opened it up and he was just checking it out, cleaning everything, and he did say there was something wrong with the internal SLI. So what we're going to be doing is grabbing my PC, is slapping it in, and let's see what we're getting. In March 2008, this card was released for a whopping price of $599 US. Memory size 512 MB GDDR3 with a memory bus of 256 bits. In total have 197 watts of TDP. I think you can actually see that he opened it up when it comes to, let's say, the screws on the back over here. I actually don't know what happened with the stick, by the way. The pin connector also looks in very pristine condition. I did see some weird stuff with some older graphic cards, so that's not going to be giving us any problem whatsoever. One of the features this thing has is like a dual DVI, but it also comes with a built-in HDMI connection, so this is going to be so much easier to connect with the capture card. But I'm seriously surprised how good the casing still looks. Over here having this very nice GeForce logo. I think it was even for the audio out, if I'm saying it correctly. We're having over here a 6-pin and an 8-pin connector for the power supply. Okay, so let's open up the PC. I still don't have a test bench. That's something I really wanted to do in the future, but for now, let's slap it in. I especially bought this PC for making old school SLIs, and this thing has enough space. So let's plug it in and let's see if all of the connectors have, and all the nuts and bolts have been removed. No, there are not still. This one needs to be removed, so let's remove that first. And let's slap in the graphic card. Oh yeah, let's see if it fits in. He was doing something with the, oh yeah, here we go. This piece of metal is not in the right position. Let's be very careful. Let's click it in. There we go. That's much better. Oh man, I don't know what's going on with this GPU, but the holes are not really lining up. But this is going to be a hassle. So let's pull a little bit very gently. Let's try to, let's say, lock it in the system. Okay, so next thing, let's plug in the extra connectors. I'm almost like fighting with these things. Okay, let's support the graphic card a little bit with that. And with my power supply, I'm actually using a 700 watt. It's going to be enough, but I'm not able to make an SLI with two of these things. So that's a little bit of a downside. Next up, everything has been plugged in beside actually the keyboard. But just wanted to do this first boot up with you. So let's press in the power button. Okay, so I did hear something spinning on. There we go. Sounded like a vacuum cleaner. And let's see if we can see a bleep and if the BIOS is recognizing and accepting the card, because so far not really good. I do see the LED is turning blue. That's a good sign. And there we go, Republic of Gamers. So the card is actually working as it is. No curry board detected, but that's going to be fixing something for something later. Yeah, okay. Whew. So is the gamble. Does it work? So when powering on, what is kind of interesting, you can actually see that there are a lot of LEDs turning to the right color. So I'm guessing both of the PCBs are working like it should be. And you can actually see two PCBs in there. So the top one and both will have the same kind of color. And I'm guessing that all of the LEDs turning on, meaning that the card is functional. So another test we need to do is seeing if this thing has any artifacts. Yeah, it does show that the support software is not installed. I am using Windows 7 on this at the moment. But yeah, let's install it and let's see if we can get something to be wrong with this, because this is going to be interesting. No artifacts. The software is ready and ready to go. And also when it comes to the multi-GPU and physics configuration has been set up. So this seller was saying with the 3D presentation, or they had like problems when activating the SLI, but so far so good. So another thing is that it also shows over here 2 graphic cards, and that is what it should be. So it does show every single mainboard of PCB, and we do have a configuration or the SLI enabled. Okay, for in the Crysis game, you can actually see that it is absolutely not. The first GPU board becomes 75 and the second 82. Oh man, and it's being used for almost like 100%. It's kind of interesting to see this actually happening inside of, let's say, the main menu. So object quality very high, all the other settings to medium, graphics, sound, and let's check it out and let's get into the game. Let's load up a game and let's see how it will run when it comes to certain parts. Oh boy. But getting into the game, you can just actually see that I'm pushing the GPU to its maximum potential. So having around 80 frames per second. Oh crap, I forgot my... Oh! I completely forgot my cloak mode. But the conclusion is actually that it runs pretty good on most of the medium setting, full HD graphics. We can also mess around with it, getting into the 720p maybe, and getting a different overall result there. However, this is absolutely such an amazing card to look at today, where it's getting really hot. 83 Celsius for GPU 1 and GPU 2 even 94 Celsius. Wow. But let's get into the most famous part with the sunrise. We do have a minor dip, 69 was the lowest, but it's very nicely playable. And of course this was not one of the best cards out there. Maybe people were having, let's say, dual GPUs and all kinds of craziness. But in the end, it's such a blast to the past having this card back into the collection. I'm hoping I can get myself a second one, because how cool would it be to get yourself a triple or quad SLI with these graphic cards. I always wanted to do this, but I think I need to upgrade my power supply to at least get 2 of these freaking things to work on my main board. But it's kind of interesting to see that we don't have any issues whatsoever now with the multi-GPU. So this is maybe a case of you need to run this on all the Windows, different drivers, or just a completely different mainboard. But this game is absolutely awesome to play. It's even more cooler to play in local area network. Alright, so let's take a closer look into the Street Fighter 4. It's already an older game, but what is kind of interesting that it does utilize SLI, and it also does include for this particular game. You can just see that both of the GPUs has no problem whatsoever, running on full HD, every setting set to high. This is just crazy. 25, 26 is absolutely like synchronizing sometimes, having the same kind of load. I think like SLI is such a beautiful thing. And even more particular when it comes to these 9800 GTX 2 cards. It's going to be absolutely awesome to just try this graphics card out on newer generation of games, just to see how far we can push it. But if you just want to play a game like Fallout 2, that's a lot of fun. This game did have like a lot of power needed from the GPU, but this 9800 GX2 with SLI capability has just enough juice to actually run it without any problem on the highest setting, full HD. And also this game I've played a lot. a lot on, let's say, local area network. It was such a fun thing to do. Woohoo! Yeah! There we go. Oh. So with this particular game, we're only having 23 frames per second. This isn't, we're saying that like a brand new game, but it's absolutely more demandable. But the biggest notice when you're looking at the specification and the laptop corner, you can just see that there's only one GPU utilized. And that is quite interesting if you think about it. So this thing has an internal SLI, meaning if the game doesn't support the SLI functionality, we don't have an overall great performance. And you can just see that GPU 2 is only being used and only having like 20 frames per second. So let's say if it had an SLI compatibility with this graphic card, we do have like maybe double the frames per second. But of course we can play actually a lot of old school games and but also a lot of new games, particularly when it comes to the indie games itself. You can just Street of Rage 4 runs without any problem. It will only use one GPU because this SLI functionality is it not even something they were using now. So this is just a great example of an old card we can still use, but not with the SLI functionality. That makes this SLI configuration completely pointless for newer games, even for indie games. Not that we're going to be needing it, but still, yeah. Like I mentioned before with the Street of Rage game, there are a lot of cool hidden gems out there. They can be played just fine with this. However, you can also see here we have no SLI support, so many games has no support for that. What is kind of funny, like you can see with GPU 2, what is actually the only single GPU that's going to be used, hitting 84 Celsius, it's actually, whoa, there we go. See, that is what I'm, okay, whoa, yeah, that is not like it should be, but I wanted to say it's like it's hitting 99%. Let's try that again. That was kind of weird. But that can be just or a driver-like problem or whatsoever. Well, it's kind of weird that we're just getting it when hitting the 99%, when like this thing was going completely in apeshit mode. Yeah, okay. But who cares about all of that? We can actually play some Doom on this with 100 plus freaking frames per second. Yeah! Oh man, let's go! I want to thank you all for watching and consider subscribing and hit the little bell because we do have an absolutely adventure ahead of us when it comes to graphic cards. I am super glad with this 9800 GX2. It's a beautiful piece of engineering of the Nvidia era, and this is just such a cool card, and hoping to find a second one so we can make a quad SLI and have some ultimate Crysis mode with that. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video. Yeah, Crysis time. Maximum armor.